Good evening. Welcome to the 2021 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. As we begin, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the principal of Lawrence High School, Dr. Dave Adam.
Thank you, Joey, for that kind introduction. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Education, Dr. Kaysen, our superintendent, Dr. Zuckerman, our assistant superintendent, Lawrence High School administration, faculty, and staff, we virtually welcome all of our parents and families tonight to the 2021 National Honor Society's annual induction ceremony. First, I want to congratulate all of our very unique year seniors who have served as mentors and academic role models for this past year. We appreciate all of your hard work and dedication to Lawrence High School, representing our school and our community as mentors, trailblazers, and intellectual leaders. And very soon you'll be leaving us, knowing that your legacy as academic achievement and a clear moral compass was fulfilled, all the while preparing yourselves to move beyond into the next chapter of your lives, wherever that may take you. Next, I'd like to congratulate this year's 2021 National Honor Society inductees. Tonight is a special night for all of us. Now, unlike a VIP ceremony or maybe even the Student of the Month, tonight's celebration is a culmination of all of your efforts throughout your academic career. Each of you truly embody the major themes of the National Honor Society's ideas of character, scholarship, and leadership, and service. Don't forget service. It is also very impressive to review the resumes of our students, not only for what they accomplished during the school day, which is outstanding all by itself, of course, but more importantly, the work that each of you contribute back to the greater Lawrence community. It's absolutely amazing. We are all impressed by your ability to balance all aspects of your life and still have time for the extracurricular activities that help you complete your high school experience. After tonight's ceremony, you take up the mantle of establishing the next standard of academic excellence of our school and continue the great work that your predecessors have left for you to accomplish. Tonight's celebration is not an end to this journey, but rather just the next phase. And I challenge each and every one of you to keep and accept this task to lead our school in the direction that we collectively agree is necessary to drive our culture of academia to even greater heights. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to congratulate and thank all of our supportive parents and extended family members. As we all know, our parents are our first teachers, setting our next generation on the paths of wonder, inquiry, friendship, and empathy, while providing a safety net of protection during their first steps as individuals. Every one of you have reinforced the importance of your children to complete the good deeds of our society, have instilled the lessons of dedication, resiliency, and morality. You have also permitted the faculty, staff, and administration of all the schools of Lawrence Township to share in these efforts, to guide these outstanding students to the successes that bring them here tonight. Fully prepared to take on the challenges beyond the walls of our school and into the world beyond our borders. Please accept our gratitude, knowing that we have enjoyed every step along this journey with you and look forward to greater accomplishments in the near future. Now it is my job as the principal here of Lawrence High School to establish the academic vision and rigor for our faculty. That sets the stage for the magic that takes place in the classroom and this year on Zoom every single day. As a former high school social studies teacher and lifelong student, as many of you know, our administrators recently received their doctorates this year. I take this charge very seriously, enjoying those opportunities of seeing our teachers working with their students, pushing their academic limits, and seeing each of you rise to the challenges every single time. This is why we love working at this school and look forward to seeing how you will lead our school's community moving forward. Now, before closing, we need to thank one special individual who puts her heart and soul into organizing and guiding the LHS National Honor Society chapter. That's Ms. Hoy. Can we give her a big round of applause? Please join me in thanking our NHS advisor, Ms. Hoy. She does a great job, and we appreciate everything that she does for us every single day. Again, thank you to all of our students and parents for being here tonight, for being part of this ceremony, and congratulations to our newest inductees. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Adam. Now, I am pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, a long-standing member of the Lawrence High School community, our chapter's advisor for more than 2 decades, and an educator for 40 years. Mrs. Ann Herzog has kindly joined us today to share a few words. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Mrs. Herzog.
It is truly an honor and a privilege to have been given this opportunity to speak with you on the occasion of your induction into the Lawrence High School chapter of the National Honor Society. Although this ceremony, like so many aspects of our lives during this COVID pandemic, cannot be in person, its significance must not be diminished by our physical distance. You have achieved the pinnacle of excellence in your high school endeavors, and like new members throughout the United States and the world, your participation in this formal induction both recognizes your accomplishments and unites you in lifelong membership in an organization celebrating its centennial this year. Central to your induction ceremony is a second ceremony, the candle lighting ceremony, during which your officers will explain the significance of the qualities represented by each candle. It is those qualities, scholarship, leadership, service, and character, depicted by their initials at the base of the torch on the National Honor Society insignia, in which you demonstrated excellence as the basis for your selection as members. But your selection is only a beginning. During the time I served as advisor for National Honor Society, I often experienced what I now refer to as the calculus of the candles, by which I mean the multiple potential variables when these qualities combine and come to life through your actions as members, continually rearranging themselves in infinite combinations, which in turn demands constant readjustment. As members, you must never allow one to be extinguished or fall into the shadow of another. How is this even possible in our new normal? You might be wondering. Having come of age during a pandemic, you know all too well that data does not guarantee truth, that scholarship cannot be neatly quantified on a 4 or 5 point scale, that service cannot always be measured in hours, that leadership may not always be easily recognized or have a title, and that character, above all, demands constant vigilance. My experience has taught me that the more you grapple with the calculus of the candles, the more you are empowered and have the courage to discover solutions to our most vexing problems. So who can help us understand how to do this? I thought Einstein might be a good place to look. Surely he would have some insights. On October 15, 1936, Einstein was invited to give an address in Albany, New York, on the occasion of our country's celebration of 300 years of higher education in America. In other words, Harvard's 300th birthday. German-born Albert Einstein, who lived just a few miles up Princeton Pike from our high school from 1933 until his death in 1955, acknowledged that the topic of educational pedagogy, about which he'd been asked to speak, was decidedly beyond his comfort zone as a student of the natural sciences, where logic reigned. But Einstein accepted the challenge. The famed physicist offered insights about teaching and learning 85 years ago, which help us better understand the essential qualities for membership in the National Honor Society during a pandemic in the 21st century. I quote, "With the affairs of active human beings, learning is different. Here, knowledge of truth alone does not suffice. On the contrary, this knowledge must continually be renewed by ceaseless effort if it is not to be lost. It resembles a statue of marble which stands in the desert and is continuously threatened with burial by the shifting sand. The hands of service must ever be at work in order that the marble continue lastingly to shine in the sun. To these serving hands mine shall also belong," said Einstein. Lesson number 1. The work of the scholar is never done. In the pursuit of knowledge, all answers yield more questions, which must be resolved. In this public commitment, Einstein went on to explain that knowledge in and of itself is dead. The school, however, serves the living. Thus, the qualities we must develop here in school must be those which, according to Einstein, are of value for the welfare of the Commonwealth. The aim must be the training of acting and thinking individuals who, however, see in the service of the community their highest life problem. Lesson number 2. Your ambition must transcend what's good for you, becoming what's best for all. The better you are at this, the better the world will be for everyone. Einstein understood the loftiness of these ideals, which he argued are best achieved through experience. We learn best by doing. Repeated successful experiences and any and all of the disciplines motivate us to pursue ever more challenging goals. Above all, Einstein advocated maintaining the highest standards. Lesson number 3. Aim high. The more you practice, the better you'll get. The better you are at each of the levels, the greater your motivation to accept new challenge at higher levels. The bar keeps going up. But as you know particularly well during this pandemic, standards are often far too easily compromised. Tyrannical leaders, corrupt CEOs, dishonest or careless researchers, anyone whose personal ambition and self-interest compromises that most elusive quality, character, without which the loftiest standards of the most brilliant among us collapse. Did Einstein have a magical wand, seemingly infinite answers for our disasters? Should we be conjuring up Dumbledore or Yoda? How do we rediscover our childlike curiosity, that which abounds in a kindergarten classroom, when we are now in remote calculus searching for X during a pandemic. There must be something more. According to Einstein, the diligence and hard work essential to scholarly endeavors of the greatest service to humankind does require something more. Lesson number 4. The point, said Einstein, is to develop the childlike inclination for play. This, suggests Einstein, enables us to consider our hard work, our service to others, our continual quest for deep knowledge and understanding like a gift. This gift of true understanding is not a set of facts, but the ability to use the tools by which we discover and understand and cultivate new ideas. Einstein concluded his address incorporating an idea advocated by another of my friends from history, Mark Twain. Education is that which remains if one has forgotten everything one learned in school. Lest you conclude that Einstein and Twain were suggesting that you do not need school or that formal education is irrelevant, they most certainly were not. Rather, they relished the acquisition of knowledge. If one can learn and think independently after years of practice within one's school and university, then one has the tools to understand and apply the calculus of the candles, to tackle the world's most vexing problems, and together to lead us in a quest for hidden solutions. We must continually revisit our books, remembering those who taught us to decipher their words, those who unraveled their mysteries and taught us how to understand their puzzles by discerning the meanings of the words and formulas written in some occasions centuries ago. We must reawaken our curiosity, and perhaps, when occasion demands, consult Dumbledore and Yoda, Twain or Einstein, Mozart or Beethoven. The possibilities are infinite. Knowing that all the lessons may not be easy, but that there is an intrinsic joy in solving the seemingly impossible with the enthusiasm of a child opening a gift. Or I might add, a team of NASA scientists watching their featherweight drone Ingenuity dancing across the surface of the planet Mars yesterday. These are the reasons we say a resounding yes to membership in the National Honor Society, where we will be called upon to exhibit what Hemingway referred to as grace under pressure. Do not be intimidated by the seeming enormity of the task. It is what all of you have been doing throughout this past year. With integrity and courage, you have employed reason and imagination to learn under extraordinary circumstances. You became role models and leaders. You have sacrificed. You may have stumbled now and then, but you stood up. You have displayed compassion for others and the determination to discover solutions to seemingly endless problems. You have enjoyed moments of playfully infectious curiosity. I know, because I watched you. Although I am now retired from teaching here and am now honing new skills in my role as the responsible adult, seated at the kitchen table between my grandchildren in remote kindergarten and pre-kindergarten, I shall never forget all that you, our seniors who are members of this organization now and soon to be graduates, taught me last spring. A few of you are safely socially distanced from me right this moment. And I know from conversations with my colleagues that my experience on that fateful Friday was replicated in classrooms throughout Lawrence High School among all grade levels. Let's take a minute to examine my evidence gathered from personal observation in my AmCiv 2 and APUSH classes last spring. Many of you now are also members of this organization. On Friday, March 13th, 2020, In a mere 40 minutes, the time we had together in class on that last day of the old normal, you established an entirely new system by which we could learn together. Volunteers stepped forward to be leaders, great communicators, as it were, sharing cell phone contacts and suggesting new systems for class time. Remember Friday FaceTime? You invented new routines, implemented new strategies, and coined our new mantra. Don't worry, Mrs. Herzog, we got you. And with your support and inspiration, I, together with Miss Mendocino in Period 7, had you. Your unselfish demonstration of concern for one another reminded me of Martin Luther King's speech given on the last full day of his life in Memphis, Tennessee, when he recalled the parable of the Good Samaritan. Said King, "The question is not if I stop to help another man, what will happen to me? The question is, if I do not stop to help the sanitation workers of Memphis, what will happen to them?" Tragically, the next day, King was assassinated. I was 15 years old, just a little younger than you are now. And like all of you today, I witnessed a world that seemed to be unraveling. And also like you, the following spring, I received an invitation for membership in the National Honor Society. The year I had just experienced, 1968, occupies several pages in your history textbooks and has been the focus of innumerable AP exam questions. Like the world in which you find yourselves now, chaos seemed to be around every corner, which brings us back to the central focus of your induction, the importance and significance of the candlelighting ceremony. Mine occurred using actual candles, complete with wick and flame. The ceremony began with a single taper candle burning on the stage, symbolizing knowledge, wisdom, just as there is a central candle already lit on your stage. Its light eventually passed not only to the other 4 candles, but among all of you, the existing members and the new inductees, each of whom will have your own burning candle. Wisely, we've abandoned the use of matches and fire, but the shared light central to this ceremony and your work as members endures. Listen now as your officers, the leaders of your chapter, explain and light the symbolic pillars associated with the personal qualities your induction into membership celebrates. Imagine how each of relates to one another and is essential to each other, and most importantly, to you. Think about everyone who supported your journey to this moment, especially your close friends, families, and teachers. Finally, notice that you are not alone. Not only are you surrounded, albeit remotely, by your fellow inductees as well as the current members, but you also have adult leaders, your principal, Dr. Adam, and your advisor, Ms. Hoy. They will support you, nourishing your aspirations and your dreams. Whatever your marble statue becomes, they will assure you continue to gain experience, developing the essential qualities of scholarship, leadership, service, and character, thus assuring that your monument will endure. Your monument, like that of the Roman poet Horace more than 2,000 years ago, will be more lasting than bronze, because it will be born of wisdom, symbolized by the torch, the eternal flame that is sustained by your experiences as lifetime members of National Honor Society. Remember those ecstatic NASA scientists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory yesterday? Did you notice the words on the wall behind them? In all capital letters, "Dare mighty things." I look forward to all that you will discover using your ingenuity and perseverance. Now, having given you your mission, and I hope some insight about how it's accomplished, it is with the greatest pleasure that I extend to you and your families my heartfelt congratulations. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to share in this, your very special occasion, induction as members of National Honor Society. I thank you.
Today, we formally recognize those students who have been selected by the faculty of our school for successfully completing their candidacy and are being inducted as new members of our National Honor Society chapter. For current members and those former members who may be in our audience, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. We are proud of our chapter's long history of inducting new members, and today's ceremony indicates the continuing emphasis on excellence that we represent for our school and community. Throughout the year, members of our chapter serve as role models for other students. In addition to the strong academic records which establish the eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student organizations and serve our school and community through numerous activities. We are proud of this record of accomplishment and welcome these new members who bring new energy and support of our continuing work as National Honor Society members. It is at this time that we proclaim to all in attendance that membership in the Lawrence High School chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the society: scholarship, service, leadership, and character, each of which is represented by one of the candles on the table in front of me. The central lighted candle represents knowledge, encompassing such attributes as experience, good judgment, and wisdom. Knowledge provides a foundation for each of the other qualities. Without knowledge, each of the other qualities can be only imperfectly achieved. Members of the chapter will now review these qualities for the candidates. We begin with scholarship.
The first candle represents scholarship. Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understand the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
The second candle represents service. Service can be established in the routine of the day's work, where many opportunities arrive to help others both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need, without monetary compensation or public recognition, is the quality we seek in our membership and promote for the entire student body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow.
The third candle represents leadership. Leadership should exert a positive influence on the school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in-school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school, community, or nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed, thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members.
The fourth candle represents character. Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for each of us our individuality, our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is the force of character that guides one through life and once developed grows steadily within. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others to be rather than to seem. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the inductees to the Lawrence High School chapter of the National Honor Society.
Ritika Agarwal, Angela Apprecio, Chloe Asak, Arya Bhaskaran, Amanda Benson, Emma B.A., Evelyn Carroll, Joshua Chang, Katie Cafreda, Elizabeth Claros, Courtney Copeland, Jack Constantino, Gianna D'Souza, Elizabeth Duraville, and Olivia Vonkowski.
Austin Edwards, Emily Franceschini, Elizabeth Fura, Isabella Garcia, Ashley Goba, Emily Gormley, Paraj Goyal, Jack Granahan, Maggie Gronenthal, Jessica Harbo, Sammy Imran, Drew Vindelicato, Davin Jodwin, Elias Johnson, Prajna Carmaker.
Kamiyar Sean, Jeremiah King, Anna Kolomatskia, Chayo Kosinski, Julia Krimmel, Sarah Kuar, Paige Lamson, Caitlin Laspina, Armani Lee, Noah Lehrfeld, Catherine Lilja, Benjamin Lilly, Haruki Maeda, Neil Monolo, Cullen McDermott.
Zachary McDevitt, Sean Mills, Samantha Nimirka, Kushi Patel, Om Patel, Priya Patel, Shivam Patel, Sophia Elizabeth Paxton, Maya Pedalino, Gabriella Petrowski, Naina Pillai, Aditi Ponakampally, Brianna Prakukni, Tulasi Ram, Manasvi Rani,
Samantha Rank, Liam Ripberger, Maduna Rashindran, Chase Rodeville, Kate Sanjak, Haley Santello, Matthew Sargent, Talia Shank, Bennett Sinha, Matthew Smith, Matthew Stern, Nandini Swami, Tyler Van Hise, Alexa Walsh, Carly Welsh, Olivia Whitaker.
Will the new inductees please join me in reciting the National Honor Society Pledge? I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing, to hold as fundamental and worthy and untarnished character, to endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader, and to give of myself freely in service to others. In doing so, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. And now, please welcome our advisor, Ms. Hoy, who will offer congratulatory remarks to the new members.
Thank you, Joviana. Juniors, let me begin by congratulating you on your induction into the National Honor Society. This marks a significant achievement, one that deserves recognition and respect, for it reflects your dedication to excellence in many areas of your life: academics, school activities, community involvement. All of this despite the many challenges of this past year. I would also like to acknowledge the many parents, guardians, family members, and friends who have supported our newest members' journeys to this point. Their success is a testament to the connections that you have helped maintain and support. As we look ahead to the coming months, full no doubt of college searches, summer activities, the joys of slowly reconnecting with those we have not seen in a while, I would like to offer a few words of reflection. Regardless of our age, race, political leanings, gender, and the many other elements that go into helping us forge our identities, we all know instinctively the power of narrative. From the small child who blames her brother for the missing cookies, despite the trail of crumbs that mark her as the guilty party, to the academics who study the power that comes with having a voice that is heard, we intuit from a very young age that telling our stories, our way, is necessary to being heard and seen on our terms. We know, too, that when we lack a voice or a platform, the narrative told is incomplete. Case in point, a quick Google search of the top headlines from 2020 includes subjects as varied as the Australian bushfires, the COVID-19 pandemic, President Trump's impeachment trial, the deaths of Kobe Bryant, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Chadwick Boseman, the stock market crash, Black Lives Matter protests, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle quitting the royal family, the arrival of murder hornets in the U.S., the selection of Kamala Harris as the Democratic vice president, and the initial rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine. The list, of course, goes on. Now, there are a number of significant problems with that list, but I'll limit my focus to two. First, this list is incomplete. Not only does it miss a great number of public events worldwide that shaped my experience of 2020, but it does not and cannot reflect the personal narrative that I would create for 2020. This narrative tells a story, but not my story. Second, the list contains significant bias. Though there are a couple of positive moments highlighted, the headlines skew towards the negative. It also reflects an Americocentric bias, courtesy, no doubt, of the Google search algorithm that recognized the originating location of my search. So once again, this narrative is flawed. Perhaps it attempts to tell a story closer to my experience due to its Americocentrism, but it is still not my experience. Unfortunately, this past year has been one dominated by headlines such as these that echo, all too persistently, in the smaller spaces that many of us have occupied since last March. And in some ways, it has been very difficult to break free of that narrative due to our lack of interaction with others. The ongoing narratives that we would normally construct in our daily lives when surrounded by the shifting tides of family and friends have been missing. Narratives that consist of personal anecdotes, stories of grief, tales of triumph, plans of the future, discussion of class and homework, and so on. Narratives in which we tell our stories to others who are there listening. Narratives that allow us to connect. Narratives that affirm our own experiences. Among the greatest challenges of this past year is this lack of connection, the feeling that no one is really listening. At first thought, this may seem surprising, given the fact that our culture is one of connectivity, where digital devices are a constant presence in our lives. And I do mean this literally. Siri has even found her way into my Zoom classrooms on occasion, interrupting to answer questions, and once even telling a student not to apologize for asking for help. So yes, we are connected. But despite this connectedness, seeing your classmates or extended family on gallery view in a Zoom call is not the same as connecting in person. Regardless of everyone's best intentions, the personal is diminished. There are fewer side conversations and tangents. There are no whispers or bits of gossip in the halls. In other words, our opportunities for sharing our stories has been limited. Consequently, so too has our ability to share our perspectives and to connect with others. As a result, this past year has been a lonely one for many. It has been a year in which motivation has been hard to muster. It has been a year in which many personal stories have gone untold. The fact that you have made it to this point, despite it all, is a testament not only to your resilience and focus, but also to your determination to frame a positive narrative out of such a difficult year. So as we begin to slowly reconnect, remember the importance of telling your story. My narrative for 2020 was incomplete because it lacked the shared stories, the multiple points of view, and the many voices that would typically have shaped my experiences of the year. My narrative was also incomplete because I had fewer opportunities to tell my stories to others. I assume the same was true for many of you. Although there is no reset button capable of returning life to the way it was a year ago, I would argue that reconnecting with others will help. And I believe that there is no better way to begin than by telling your story. For it is through our narratives that we can set the record straight. We can be heard and seen on our own terms. We can affirm our experiences. We can connect with others through shared sorrow and joy. And we can remember that we are not alone. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2022 National Honor Society inductees. I encourage you to continue serving as leaders in our high school community, and to begin so by sharing your stories.